Hi, welcome to the BIGCast. My name's Jerad. I'm sitting here with Cole. This is the first time. Media literacy. It's just understanding the stuff that we're consuming, whether that's the news, the stuff that we hear from politicians, the video games, the movies, TV shows, books, all that stuff. Understanding what it means. Media literacy. I have a few notes here. The first note is the definition, the content that we consume, understanding what that is and what it means. My examples, because of a game that we're playing, the examples I wrote is Starship Troopers, the book and the movie, and Helldivers. It's a video game series that took obvious inspiration from Starship Troopers. It hits a lot of the same notes, and a lot of people are misinterpreting Helldivers the same way that Starship Troopers book and movie were also misinterpreted.
Yeah, it just feels like, I frequent Twitter. Probably not the best place to get people's logic, but I see a lot of people, they just don't have media literacy anymore. It just feels like people just don't understand where they're coming from. Like with Helldivers 2, people for a while there, whenever it came out, were not understanding that it's a parody. It's making fun of fascism and like high capitalistic values and stuff like that.
And the military-industrial complex. All of those things are what Starship Troopers also parodied.
Yeah.
And back all the way when the book was written, people thought the same thing. They thought that this was a glorification, that this is all just warmongering, propaganda, bullshit. No, you're not getting it. The fact that it's so ridiculous is the point. You're supposed to see that, and some people don't. As fun and funny as it is, and you're going to see us playing Helldivers on stream. We have many times. We're probably going to keep doing it for a while because they're adding content.
Yeah.
It's fun and funny when we, big bomb and salute and democracy and, launch the ICBM. Wow, and the boom, big nuclear explosion. But we just freed the shit out of them. That's the joke.
Yeah.
That's the joke's essence. It's not actually about that. It's about the fact that Super Earth is a dystopia.
Yeah. Dystopia.
It's awful.
That all the issues in Helldivers 2 is caused by
the people.
Caused by people of Super Earth, the government of Super Earth.
From what I understand of the lore, the Terminids, the bugs, the Helldivers, people of Super Earth, we farmed them. We found them
for oil.
We realized we could turn them into biofuel, bio-oil, and we farmed them and murdered them and crushed their bodies up to turn into fuel.
Yep.
And the Terminids are intelligent. They're not just dumb bugs.
Yeah.
They're actually like at least a semi-intelligent race. I don't know what their intelligence level is, but they're at least like dolphin level intelligence. And we
don't like killing dolphins, do we?
We hate that, don't we? Right. But that's the whole thing is we enslaved and like ground them up into oil.
Yeah.
So of course they're at war with us. And then the automatons, which is different from Helldivers 1. In Helldivers 1, they were cyborgs. Automatons completely different. From what I understand of the automatons is we liberated their homeworld, liberated it for Super Earth control. They just want their homeworld back.
Yeah.
Like they've said, the war can end. We just want our planet back. We'll stop fighting today if you just give it back. No, we can't do that.
Can't do that. They can be liberated.
Because it's got to be liberated.
It's got to be free.
It's got to be free. Come on. We're spreading managed democracy.
Yeah.
Okay? And if you can't, if this all sounds super great to you, missing the point.
Fun game, but yeah, understand the message behind it. Another thing I've seen, like Boogie tweeted out, what a great guy, that he's tired of games being about hate white men and just being fun. And people started going like, I saw the appropriate response to that being like, tell me what games are about hating white men. And
God of War.
I saw, what the fuck? I saw so
the
many,
Norse gods, all white men.
No, there was a couple. No, there was a couple that weren't, and people were upset. And they were like,
"Oh yeah, well that's even worse."
That's what I mean. But I just saw like the most exasperating examples. The one I thought was the funniest, I keep talking about, is someone was claiming The Last of Us 2. The whole story of Last of Us in general is about hating white men. And like this is spoilers. I don't know if this game came out a couple years ago, so if you don't know, step away now. I want to spoil it.
Well, it's unfortunate because I didn't know.
Oh, hey, spoilers. Joel gets his brains beat in the first beginning of the game. And it's because, the reason, if you don't know, reason is because...
Does he save Ellie?
It's because he saved Ellie. He killed a bunch of people. Those people had families. They had children. Yeah. And those children have gotten older and they want revenge for their family. So they hunt down Joel and they hurt him. They kill him for revenge. And they leave everyone. They just want to kill Joel. They don't want to kill anyone else. They just want to kill the guy that killed all their families. Yeah. And the whole game of Last of Us 2 is a big part of it is you playing Ellie, getting revenge for them killing Joel. And you murk a bunch of them.
And the cycle of violence.
And it keeps continuing. And it's about breaking that cycle eventually. And so that's the story that, it wasn't because...
See, I haven't even played it. Just through his description, I understood the context.
Yeah, it's because Joel's white. It had nothing to do because Joel's white. Yeah. No, Joel could have been any color. He could have been a woman, and he still would have been. They still would have killed him.
Joel did what he did because his daughter got.
Yeah, because it's the vision point of like, what would you do if your own daughter was in that situation? Would you let your daughter be carved up, or would you fight to save her?
That's truly insane and absurd. The other one that's been hearing about it, X-Men 97, which I think the first few episodes and shit are out.
Yeah, they're out.
They're out. Hearing it's fantastic. I personally gotta watch it because I'm a boomer and I remember watching X-Men the animated series back in the 90s. And I'm super excited for it. But a big one that you may have heard of, I know we've heard it, is people are like, wow, they made X-Men woke. Do you even understand the X-Men? If you think the X-Men is woke because of X-Men 97, you straight up don't understand the X-Men.
Yeah, you haven't heard anything.
From its inception, as you and I know, because we talked about all these topics a little bit beforehand, the X-Men's about equality and racism and discrimination. Mm-hmm. It always has been. Professor Charles Xavier is an allegory for Dr. King. Magneto has always been an allegory for Malcolm X. They always have been. Mm-hmm. Magneto is by any means necessary. Charles Xavier wants to try peaceful coexistence between humans and mutants. And more than that, because that's kind of fictionalized subtext, right? Mutants and humans. Magneto was literally a Holocaust survivor. Mm-hmm. You can understand how he got from point A to point B. It doesn't make it right, but you get how he got there.
Yeah.
If you think X-Men 97 is woke, you don't get it. It's always been about this. Always. You have to understand that just because they say mutant doesn't mean they don't mean black folks, Latinos, Asians. Just because you substitute the word mutant for that doesn't mean that it doesn't mean the same thing. And even more than stuff that's like skin deep, LGBT or non-binary or trans or anything that falls in that blanket. It's all about that. Mm-hmm. It's about discrimination. It's insane that people still don't get that. We've known about this allegory since it came out, when it was written 60s, 70s, when the first X-Men comics came out.
It's literally about the civil rights movement. I mean, that's really what it's based off of.
Why do we think that people don't understand that? About just in general with media literacy, what's going wrong?
I mean, I don't want to blame. Maybe part in America, maybe part of it is because of our failing education system, public education system. But I feel like there are people who just don't look at things past skin deep. They take what's on the surface and they don't use any critical thinking about what's behind that. They just see it and they go, I know exactly what this is about. And it's always wrong.
It's unfortunate because, like, even if you look at a story, like if you just purely look at, we'll say, the X-Men, if you just purely look at the X-Men as its own self-contained story, you don't want to go any deeper than that. If you look at it on its own, it's still just a story about discrimination. Mm-hmm. At its very core, like, that part is not hidden.
No, not at all.
That part is integral to the very essence of the X-Men. This group of mutant humans are separated from normal human society because they're banding together to try and right wrongs and peacefully coexist. That's just what the story is, even if you don't look deeper than that.
But Jared, they put Gambit in the crop top.
Gambit is a very sexy Cajun man, and he deserves to be in a crop top. Okay. He deserves that.
Yeah, I feel like if there's any character in X-Men to wear a crop top, I feel like it would be Gambit. Is like the forefront of anybody.
Look, everyone thinks Gambit's hot. Okay.
Yeah.
Everyone, everywhere. Have you seen the Hellfire Gala? Oh my God, he's in like a jongs. He's got like some jongs on, bro. And it's something, okay? It's something to look at. Look up that picture.
But I think that also like more like just goes more like, also like misinformation. I feel like just today also people just don't research anything.
That's a big hard one.
I think that all just coincides together. It's like people just don't look past skin deep on things. Yeah. They just take it for face value.
Well, and the rise of like fake news and the use of AI tools to fool people, that's something that is a growing problem. It's going to get worse. Right now, I think boomers and older people especially have trouble with it because they don't know about this stuff. There are people like my dad. I don't think he would know about what AI art, like like DALL-E and what's the Midjourney. Mm-hmm. He's not gonna know about any of that shit.
No,
he's gonna have no idea that he could type into a prompt
Gambit in jongs.
Gambit in jongs.
And get that.
And get that back.
Yeah.
And understand that that's not a search engine. That's not an existing image. It created that for that prompt.
Yeah.
He's not going to understand that.
Yeah.
And anybody, and my dad's, in his early 60s now? Nobody older than that is going to have any clue.
For sure not.
And it's going to get worse. I think I just turned 35. You're what, like 29?
Something like that.
Something like he's approaching 30 and afraid. I was there once, roughly 5 years ago.
But it's about media literacy, not my fear of mortality.
I woke up on my 30th birthday.
Oh my gosh, we're not talking about this.
Swear to God. He remembers. On my 30th birthday with shoulder pains, I didn't have the day before. I didn't like go out like lifting stuff that day. I just woke up 30 years old like, oh, what the hell? Oh, like my shoulder hurt. It was great. It's coming for you. Look, AI tools are amazing and groundbreaking and terrifying. They're going to get worse. Me and you can probably determine a lot of AI images just by looking at it. But it's going to get worse. We all got to be smart. We got to keep our heads in this and recognize that media literacy is something we all need to know. We all need to understand. Honestly, with how big media is in our daily lives.
Yeah.
I mean, I haven't been in school in 20 years, but if they're not teaching media literacy in the States, they should start.
Yeah, and they do. I think so. But like that's like it comes down to video games is such a large platform now. It is the biggest entertainment platform in general. And so you're gonna say, and we already have. There's already been amazing games that have come out from a lot of usually small indie devs that are just very like message given or like story based, and like they're trying to teach you something or give something to you.
Hellblade.
Hellblade is a great example of that.
It's hard game.
And so
painful.
It's people need to look. It's so sad when you have great games like this and people can't look past. Because there's probably people who look at Hellblade and it's like, oh, it's just a cool action game.
It's just it's
and they don't see the message behind, like what actually is happening behind the cover of it.
They fundamentally just don't get what Senua's journey is.
One of my favorite emotional games I played is I think it's called, I can't remember exactly, but Blink of an Eye. And it was this cool game that you had to have a camera, but every time you blinked IRL, it moved to the next scene in the game.
Oh,
and it was
cool.
It's such an emotional journey. It's such a good game.
What's another good one? I don't know if you played it. Superliminal?
Not heard that one.
Yeah. Oh my God, I gotta make.
Oh wait, I think you're talking about. It's like a puzzle game. Where
it's a puzzle game, but your perspective changes reality.
Yeah.
And when you just say it like that, you see the message.
Yeah.
Perspective changes your reality.
Yeah.
And it was a great puzzle game. Just the mechanics of it were super fun, and it's relatively short. I finished it in an evening, I believe. but it just had such a wonderful little message. I was like a little bit teary-eyed at the end of it, and I was like, wow.
No, we should definitely,
it came out of nowhere.
We should definitely play Blink and Eye, because that's also like
it's a
4-hour game, and trust me, there's scenes where you're like, I'm not gonna blink. You're like, you're trying so hard not to blink.
I'd say if you
so
have
the scene lasts longer.
If you have not played Superliminal, you could probably finish it in a single stream. Something to consider. It's a really good one. I think we're gonna close it out there. Thanks for joining the BIGCast. We've got more of these coming at you. We're gonna keep doing them. Thank you for joining us. And also in the comments, let us know what you might want to hear us talk about. Bye.